How's it going, guys? I'm back. I took a day off yesterday because I was feeling a bit under the weather, and today Aul's going to die. Now, I've made some changes here. I rolled some flasks. I got a reduced charges used flask. This is going to mean that if my flask is empty, I am going to gain charges faster, and I'm only using 11 charges rather than 15. So the Pantheon that I have, you gain 3 charges every 3 seconds if you haven't used a life flask recently. I'm going to gain those charges back a lot faster to be able to use the flask. So, next, my Jade Flask. Gain 7 charges when you are hit by an enemy with increased critical strike chance. Now, this is in hopes like if I'm taking hits, okay, I can replenish this flask and get my Jade Flask up. I didn't touch the Silver Flask, but I did my Diamond Flask a similar way. I gained 5 charges when you're hit by an enemy. So since I'm not running Grace, I'm not capped on evasion, I might be able to grab this crit chance and cast speed for extra damage during the fight. And the passive tree. Now with my level, I unspec these 2 points. I unspec a life node so that with the level, I grab this dex node and put these 3 life nodes in. That raised me about 300 life. Now for this fight as well, I'm not gaining power charges on kill. So I took out these 4 nodes, and then I put 1 back into a life node here. I put 1 into the life mastery for 10% increased life with reduced life recovery rate. I don't have any life regen, so this only affects my life flask, which has buffed regeneration rate from last league. I put a point into life, and then I put a point into you take 30% reduced extra damage from critical strikes. Now I did this yesterday with removing the power charges. In doing this, the only mod on this all is giving it power charges. So the reduced extra damage from critical strikes is going to be beneficial. So let's go get him. Oh no! Uh-oh. That was bad. No! Come on! Ah! Uh-oh. That was bad play. Okay. Added 2 more flasks. I got a Stibnite and a Sapphire. Seems like all the damage he does is it's converted into cold, it seems. So a Sapphire should be pretty helpful. Okay, and then in this phase, all my flasks are gonna come back. I keep taking these minor hits. Okay, and the Sapphire Flask, with immunity to chill, keeps me from being chilled during that. Cool. Heck yes. It's going so much better. Like, unbelievably better. Figuring it out. Blast charges gained on hit is insane. I got through the first phase without him going into his little machine gun thing once. That's also pretty cool. I haven't gotten hit by any crystal fizzers either. This could be the one. Okay, it's a bad spot for this, but okay. And the golems can body block that. Okay. Recharge all my flasks real quick. Keep overusing my flasks. Still so used to the old duration on them. Stayed right in the middle, right where I want him. Okay. Don't get hit by the fizzers. Want this challenge. Still have a dynamite. Dynamites do percentage damage. So, well, you'd probably pretty often see people using dynamites in this fight. Got this. We got this. Don't get hit by the fizzers. Challenge completion. Come on. Give me also pressing. Also pressing. Please, please, please. Oh, come on. You're dead, dude. Okay, I get my flasks all back right here. Are you... No, it's complete. Okay, I thought I just failed it right there. Just out of the blue. Oh, oh boy. Okay. Okay. Purity of Elements has no reservation. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty solid because Purity of Elements gives you ailment immunity now. So now I get a like. This makes me much less. If I were to use this, this makes me much less um, resistance reliant on gear. So I could get um, more chaos res easily. If I were to have this, I'd lose the projectile speed from the craft. It has life on it. That's ailment immunity though, which is big. I think I'm gonna try and figure out how to a way to use this. We'll touch back. Alrighty, I've reworked just about everything at this point. So I'm just gonna like re-go through what I've got here. So the chest didn't change, none of the links changed. I still don't have Awakened Gems or Awakened Cold Pin. Nothing's changed there. So I replaced the amulet. Amulet previously was giving me a bunch of damage. It was giving my strength that I needed, a bunch of projectile speed. So now, as I put the All's Uprising on, now I'm getting Parity of Elements. I'm getting some extra crit chance against nearby enemies, which isn't going to be factored in the tooltip at all. But I needed to work that in. So I needed strength somewhere. So I crafted this belt with strength essences after applying life and mana catalyst to it because I needed the life and mana so that I have a buffer to cast the skill with the cast speed that I have. And then when I pop all my stuff, like I can drain my mana. I need the mana regen from Arcane Surge to help sustain it. So I need that like base of mana somewhere. Now and then let's see where to go next. I replaced my gloves as well. I was trying to get gloves that had cold damage if you've dealt critical strike recently. I had Redeemer gloves. I didn't wind up getting extra evasion on these, and I did not get spell suppression. So I lost 16% spell suppression, which I had to account for that on the tree. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to take this chance, and I'm going to try and roll an unset ring. I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted chaos res on this, and pretty much nothing else. But this is what we got. The idea on this was I want plus level of socketed gems, because like I was mentioning last week, with a Summon Chaos Golem, if I increase its level to 22 or higher, I get 5% physical damage reduction as opposed to 4 as a base. So all of the increased golem effect I'm getting it'll give me more physical damage reduction. And I needed an extra gem socket to put in the Purity of Elements. So this is the perfect time to do that. And this added cold and lightning damage gives me flat cold and lightning damage to spells and attacks. So it is giving me that little bit of lightning damage that I have on here. So the jewel didn't change. The belt, like I'm gonna have to craft a better belt. I'm gonna have to craft a better unset ring. Only other thing I changed here was I spent the exalt to craft the better spell damage on this. So now, oh no, let me flash. I'm keeping the gain charges on hit with the crit chance, the gain charges on hit with cast speed. I kept my previous Quicksilver, and I recrafted a Silver Flask to give flash charges when I deal a critical strike, and increased block and stun recovery during Flask effect. I don't know if this is ideal, but I also want a higher level Silver Flask. This is the highest level one I had. And then I kept my previous Eternal Flask with the max charges and Corrupting Blood that I was using for maps. The passive tree, I changed a lot. So previously, I was coming over here to get this power charge on kill, and now I've just completely done away with that, and that is because I dropped Hex Touch and I dropped Frostbite. And instead, with my Frost Bomb and Spell Cascade, I now have it linked with Arcanist Brand and Assassin's Mark. So now I can cast an Arcanist Brand, and it's going to curse with Assassin's Mark, which is going to allow me to get power charges during boss fights and while clearing maps. And it'll automatically cast the Frost Bomb as well to apply the exposure, and it will aim on its own, I would imagine. So this will do both things. I won't have to wait for the Frost Bomb to go off to curse with Frostbite, and I can get power charges that way. So that opened the opportunity for me to remove all this stuff from the tree and move it elsewhere. Also, I used to have 15% all res from this node here. I don't need that anymore because I'm getting resistances from Purity of Elements, and it's only level 11, so the all res is going to go up on that. The big thing I lost from this was the Clarity has 100% reduced mana reservation efficiency, and the 20% mana reservation rate, and the mana. The life I can get elsewhere, but the mana mastery is not as accessible. So to account for this, I grabbed Soul Siphon. So I'm going to get mana on kill while clearing maps from that. And for boss fights, I got this one node right here that gives me 25% mana regeneration rate. So that will account for the mana regen, and then I still can feel okay with where my mana is. Now I used this take reduced extra damage from critical strikes during that boss fight because it was getting power charges. I'm not really worried about taking hits really at all, clearing maps. If anything, I might take the 25 crit multi against unique enemies with this. What else? I took out all of these life and energy shield nodes here. I removed this Fangs of the Viper node that gives movement speed. That's the only reason I was really taking it, because down here I had to push across here to get spell suppression. And there's a bunch of movement speed here with that spell suppression, so this point was one that I felt comfortable removing. Further on, I really wanted these evasion and life nodes to help bolster the evasion. And I also, for the longest time, wanted to come down here and get charisma because there's better mana reservation efficiency here than I could get up on influence. So these nodes were removed and replaced with these ones right here, and this is allowing me the space to still run my clarity as well. And then I push down here to get ballistics. This replaced the projectile speed and damage that was crafted on my previous amulet, and then I got life, and here is a chance to avoid being stunned. Now ideally, I would like to get cannot be stunned if you haven't been hit recently, or even spec up into here and get the stun immunity. Up here with 10 would be 20, a 60% chance to avoid being stunned. And then down here is an additional 20, 36. So that's 96% chance to avoid being stunned. That's acceptable enough to me to have that. And then once I could do something like that, then I can replace Soul of the Bind King. I don't need the reduced effective chill anymore, and I do not need cannot be frozen anymore. So all this is doing is preventing me from being stun locked currently, which I could avoid with enough stun immunity. And I could potentially get a flask that gives me that as well. And then I can get either Lunaris or Solaris, physical damage for mapping and physical damage against bosses. I probably want Soul of Lunaris. Yeah. Avoid projectiles that have been chained, which I would avoid chaining projectiles off of my minions. As far as damage goes, the only things I spec'd out of was Elemental Focus here, which these were not the biggest damage nodes, and I could probably do better with a jewel socket, and then the jewel that was up here, I moved down to here. So yeah, that a lot changed, and with some gear crafting and some better gear, things are going to be better. My tooltip just sitting in my hideout is lower than it was before. That's because I'm losing 50% crit chance from my passive power charge that I had from Disciple to Forbidden. So I'm going to be able to get those power charges because of the Assassin's Mark. So I'm still going to have that. Plus I'm getting increased critical strike chance in nearby enemies, and I'm getting extra flat cold if I've dealt a critical strike recently. So in Path of Building, the damage should be better. Yeah, like things might still change a bit from here on out, depending on how things work out. But yeah, there's an update on where things are, and yeah, I'm still anointing Fury Bolts for the strength, but I might have, I don't know. No, I still need that strength. I'm just dead on 155, 156. I need 155 for the Enduring Cry and the Steel Skin, and I have 156. So, yeah, that's it for me for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.